When you've got a technology provider that's so important, like Beyond Trust, it's vital to have that personal relationship. I have relationships across with global sales, with marketing, and also with the technical staff. And it's good to try and provide a two-way benefit to you trying to develop your product, and I have my back to the risk and to the real world, and I can help communicate some of the issues and some of the improvements to the products, which, to be honest, you take very seriously. And that increases my confidence, not only in our relationship, but also that you listen to your customers, and that gives me confidence in the product set. I got 2 words that were within my IT strategy globally. It's called kill complexity. First of all, the board wasn't too fond of me using the word kill in my strategy, but I think it rings true. You have to kill complexity across your network, and that's technology solutions, it's applications, it's processes. The most simple approach is always the best approach, and that involves simplicity and reducing that complexity. The weight of compliance, or the resources needed for compliance, is an issue, I think, across the board. So we were looking for a solution to help us minimize that time. But from then, visibility of vulnerabilities in our network and on our devices was also a very important step. Unless you have visibility, you can't make informed decisions. So it's necessary to have that visibility, and that's what we needed. We needed to understand where to best spend our budget and where the risk was it needed to be mitigated. So it gave us knowledge. To reduce white noise, you look at the person with the most access, the privileged access accounts. That is where the attackers are trying to get to, and that is what they want. They're not really concerned about just getting your wireless password. It doesn't really mean anything. It means they might be able to get internet access. However, they do go after the privilege accounts, which allows them to traverse the network and identify the information that they want to get hold of. So that's why it's vitally important that you take your privilege account approach first. And also, they are the biggest risk. They are at the top of the pyramid. So you start at the top, highest risk, highest impact, and work your way down basically until your money runs out. You have 2 choices. You can reduce the amount of privilege accounts you've got to a minimum, and I would suggest that you do that first. But once you have an absolute minimum of privileged accounts, you must monitor them. You must identify when they're in use, what time of day they're in use, but also where they're in use. So you can track whether someone's accessing or using that account in 2 different time zones at a similar time, and you can say, well, that's not logically possible. So you can use the technology to really tighten down and remove all of that peripheral risk. So then the risk you deal with is very pure risk, and that's the one you need to focus on and understand. So it's narrowing your risk margin helps you do that. The prioritization of mitigating risks is absolute, but you also have to remember you've got external forces, budgetary constraints, regulatory constraints, board constraints, and all of these working together are really, really difficult to manage. So having single reporting frameworks, reducing your technology complexity helps you get the best bang for your buck as far as time is concerned, because at the end of the day, time is the most precious asset, and the technology is meant to help create time in your daily life.